To handle stress, I need support.
To handle stress, I need time to spend with the ones that I love.
To handle stress, I need to reset.
To handle stress, I need communication.
To handle stress, I need sleep and meditation.
To handle stress, I need self-expression.
To handle stress, I need to talk with my parents.
To handle stress, I need my music.
To handle stress, I need love and support from those who are closest to me.
To handle stress, I need to pray and connect with God.
The word stress is tossed around a lot. We all use it, we all feel it. But do we all stop to consider the reasons for stress and ways to help relieve it? The District Attorney's Youth Advisory Board of 2018 felt we should look more into stress. Between school, sports, clubs, family, college, friends, and the countless pressures of high school life, we need to take a step back and think. We can't offer perfect solutions, but we want to let you know that you aren't alone. In sharing our stories, we hope we can remove a bit of pressure from your lives. So sit back, relax, and let go of all that stress.
My first big interest was books. That and sports were my two major things growing up, and that's continued in high school to the point that I've been accepted at some of the most selective universities in the country.
I have very high standards for myself academically, but at the same time, I'm very laid back in a sense, and so people can't really see whether or not I'm stressed out or something.
Even though school is very fun for me and learning is very exciting for me, it is very stressful at the same time.
I am the type of student that's kind of below average, probably not where I should be, but very well capable of where I could be.
I would describe myself as someone who really values education and tries to make that his main focus, and also tries to balance his academics with extracurriculars such as sports and clubs.
I think that I'm kind of one of the lucky ones because school is one of the only things that consistently brings me joy. Like, I love waking up, I love learning new things. It's this thing that I'm so passionate about.
What stresses me out right now is the expectations. Not the expectations of other people, but the expectations that I have for myself.
I am a person who gets stressed out really easily because I just tend to worry about everything. So it's not the things themselves that stress me out, it's just trying to make sure everything's perfect and just trying to make sure everything's together and working.
I'm stressed out by things at home, things at school, trying to keep my grades up while trying to manage myself and work hard at home and at least play a part in my family.
School most definitely stresses me out with all the classes that are taking place and whatnot. Extracurricular activities, clubs I'm involved with, and sports that I do all year round, and work as well, working from 4 to 11, and then not having time to do my homework sometimes, and not getting enough sleep.
What types of stress do you guys see in your school?
A lot of students are inclined to become stressed out by academics, whether that's pressure from themselves or their parents, or even their teachers and peers to do well in class, and I think that definitely takes a toll on a lot of students.
Home life, that's really stresses students out the most, and then they just reflect that upon it taking it to school, and they don't want to participate in some things because it's too much for them. That's what I noticed in my school.
I feel like schools could definitely offer like a lot more resources for students.
Like, even just like advertising the resources, because a lot of kids don't access them because they don't know that they're there.
I think we need better communication between the school and students, if it's the teachers or the administrators.
Just knowing that you're able to talk to somebody, whether that's in your guidance department or a teacher or even a parent that you can definitely trust and go to. I feel like it's important that everybody knows that, because I feel like with stress, every single one of us kind of has a bit of a sense of hopelessness, and I feel like we all need to know that there is hope.
There should definitely be more people that let people know that their stress is valid. There should be less minimizing each other's stress, and adults should listen more to their children about what's stressing them, and they shouldn't tell them that what they are stressed about doesn't matter, because everyone's stress matters.
A lot of my stress came from high school. I was pretty good in middle school. But when I went into AP classes, because they put me in multiple at a time, and in middle school they just had regular classes for us.
I think to bounce off of that, I agree completely, because once you hit high school, there are a lot more avenues for you to go down, a lot more options for you to use your time, and it gets to a point that it's almost like an overload of different things you can do, and that wasn't really available in middle school, and I feel like that definitely contributes to that.
What ways do you like to de-stress while at school?
I think that I'm lucky because I get to tinker with a lot of electronics, which is a big thing for me. I feel like that's really beneficial because it gives me something to do. Or I could talk to some of my teachers that aren't just robotic. Like, lesson, done, go home, they got paid that day. I feel like that talking to somebody that is there for, like, actually being there for you rather than just, I'm going to teach the lesson and then that's it. That's all there is for today. I feel like that's more beneficial, and it definitely helps me unwind.
For example, I'll have a day where I have like a test in every class and a game after school. And although it seems hard in the moment, I just have to remember that it'll all be over soon, and I just have to put in my best effort because that's all I can do.
And that's something that I've dealt with my whole life, where I neglect my soul so that I can maintain this notion of ego. So, like, I would have loved to take an art class, not because I think that I want to do it as a career, or because I want to think, or because I want to just be an artist or anything like that, but just because I want to have fun and I want to learn things, because that's what these 12 years are really about. But I don't think I have that freedom because I don't know where to find the balance between being happy and looking admirable on a transcript.
My school is very testing based because we're a charter school, and we not only take like MCAS and everything, but we also take a lot of tests to like see as benchmarks for like how each student is doing in each subject. And I'm not a good test taker when it comes to time tests.
Because every single day is different, and it comes with different challenges, especially with time. Midterms, normal tests, homeworks, projects, all sorts of these things come with different time limits and time constraints. And it's up to us and how we're gonna attack this.
I was a pretty good student. I had A's and the occasional B, but this senior year is like when I first started like seriously working, and my grades have taken an impact. So I mean, I'm not the best student as I was. I would say kind of my average is like a B, and I'm not gonna lie, sometimes I just have to prioritize work over doing schoolwork, and it's so stressful knowing that I could be a so much better student, but I just can't because I just don't have the time to.
I get really either agitated, or I just kind of isolate myself from other people. Like, I'm just, get away from me. I don't want to talk to you. I just want to be on my own. I want to deal with this on my own, and I don't want to be rude. I don't want to insult you in any way, shape, or form. And it's nothing against you. It's just something that I'm going through, and I'm trying to get through it.
I definitely feel like when I'm in a situation where I'm not sure how I'm going to be able to finish the work, the best way for me to deal with it is to voice what I'm going through to my parents, and they're always extremely supportive.
One time I'm on the basketball court and I'm just playing basketball, and out of nowhere, like, everything just came down on me at one time. So I ran off the basketball court and I went to the locker room and just cried. And I didn't know what was wrong with me, but then I realized that it was just too much for me. It felt like there was a huge weight on my chest. But once I talked to my coach, everything just went away.
Seeing as in my situation, it's really difficult to find like the resources you need to deal with this type of stress, but just more of your inner drive, more of yourself. That's what it really comes down to, because it's really difficult to actually find help when dealing with these type of situations where you're just loaded with things, extracurricular activities, and on top of that, like, home life not being the best. So like, finding your inner self, trying to find someone that connects with you is like the most ideal. when dealing with this stress.
I definitely think it would be really helpful if schools were a lot more personal with their students and kind of avidly checking in on how their students were, rather than kind of making them or putting pressure on them to succeed and to be well and to make the school something good. So I mean, if schools were to do that, I really think the school environment would be a lot more healthy.
Every year I've taken a period out of my schedule to take band classes, and I think it's important for schools to teach you to really find something you love to do during the day, because I mean, that 45 minutes of playing music every morning is really helpful.
I definitely think there needs to be some type of like more help for like relationship stress and like just like stress with your friends, because you know you're a teenager, you're trying to figure out yourself and you're trying to navigate high school, and not even just like in the academic sphere, just like in the social sphere. Like you're going to have fights with your friends, you're going to have changes in who you are, and you have to just figure out how to deal with them. And I think that a lot of kids don't feel that they have avenues to talk about that, especially because talking with the counselor is embarrassing and things like that. So I definitely think we should offer more help to students in that regard.
I agree, because I feel that grades and college preparation shouldn't be a barrier between the students being able to talk to their guidance counselors and their teachers, that they actually do need help other than scheduling their classes, because their well-being is very important.
At smaller schools, like I go to a really small school, and so you would think that like guidance counselors would know every student, but even the guidance counselor at my school doesn't know everyone. And I can't even imagine what it's like at bigger schools, at regional schools, because not knowing every single student and how, like it's hard to know every single student, but checking in every now and then, that's something that you don't usually see. And if a smaller school like mine is having trouble doing such, like it's probably on a much larger scale, because bigger schools have more like of a variety of different types of people and different types of students and different types of situations. So like I'm barely getting that type of like checking in with my teachers, so I can't even imagine what like other students are going through.
I don't know if you guys feel this at your school, but I feel like my school is also always like, we want to hear the students' input, we want to hear what you think, we want to hear your criticism, but they never do. It's like you talk about what bothers you, and they're like, oh, okay, and they like never act on it. And that's what's so frustrating, because it makes me feel like they're not listening and they're just kind of sweeping what we say underneath the rug.
I think that teachers and like administrators and such, they like try their best, but I think that the problem is that they just don't know how to communicate. There are all these like walls between students and teachers, so I think that even though they want to include us, it's really difficult for like adults to figure out ways to communicate with kids in a way that's not condescending and in a way that's effective.
I definitely feel like it's crucial for me to talk to my parents, because articulating to them what I've got to do and how stressed I am, even if they can't necessarily help relieve it, which they often can, but even if they can't, just being able to express it to somebody definitely helps me release the stress that I have built up inside.
Like what Matt said, yes, I have to communicate with my parents, because I don't like going through things by myself, and if the support's there, I'm gonna use it. I'm not gonna let it go to waste.
Because I know like a lot of the times when I talk to my parents, it's helpful in some ways, but like a lot of times I don't, because I know that they think that they're helping when they try to relate and they try to talk about their own personal stress and like their own personal experience and try to give advice, but it seems to invalidate in some way what I'm saying. And sometimes kids just need somebody to listen. They don't necessarily need advice. Sometimes they just need an outlet, or like a human diary or something like that.
I usually try to talk to my parents, and sometimes like I'm afraid to, because I'm not sure they'll understand, but I think in the long run, usually when I eventually do, which tends to be like later on after, you know, I've been stressing over it for a while, I mean, it tends to work out, and it's usually a lot of help.
I know a little stress can help push people to do their best. I know a little bit of pressure can make diamonds, basically. So a little bit of stress can get me personally to do my best and perform my best. It's just once that little bit of stress manifests into something way too big and way too much to handle, that's when things kind of turn in the opposite direction.
And I know everyone views the world differently, but it's just hard to find someone that you can really connect with and be sure that they understand what you're thinking. And I've tried to overcome that by talking to new people, and I mean, it's helped for the most part, but it's still just really tough.
There's always a next step. There's always something else you can do. There's always a way around a different path you can take, per se. Because I think that what a lot of people don't understand is they get stuck. They're stuck in the mud and they can't get out. They don't know what to do. And I think that a big thing to take out of it is that there's always going to be something after. There's always going to be something to gain. There's always going to be something more to what's going on. Even if it doesn't seem that bright right now, there's always a light at the end of the tunnel.
The number one way of coping, I definitely talk about it with people. Sometimes it's really hard, and sometimes you don't want to because it seems stupid, or like you seem like your stress isn't significant enough. But you have to recognize that all stress is valid, no matter how small it may be. So when you talk about it with somebody, it helps you kind of vent about how you're feeling, and it'll probably help you work through how to get through this stress.
It always helps me to go to my friends and talk about my stress with them, because oftentimes I feel like they've gone through similar things, and if they've been able to conquer their stress and get through it, and then I feel like they'll really be able to give me awesome help that they'll hopefully allow me to do the same.
I think the two biggest things are time management and communication to help you with your stress. I think time management is huge because you'll probably get a little more sleep than I do if you definitely take your time, like certain amounts of time to do your work or your extracurriculars or that sort of thing. And the other huge thing is communication. I feel as though voicing what you're going through to a close friend or your parents or a relative or a teacher, anybody who cares about you, if you voice your problems to them and you really express that, it'll make you feel better.
I think that everyone's passions and everyone's talents lies in a different place, and if you don't like school necessarily, I think you should do the best that you can and try to maintain what you think is important for yourself in school, but absolutely explore other areas, explore your passions, because I think that as long as you can be happy, everything will work itself out.
Whatever it is in your schedule, make sure that school is very important, but you are even more important, because if you don't take care of yourself, then school's going downhill. And I'm gonna say that straight up with you, because it's all up to you. Your future, the one that you're worrying every single day about, it's up to you what your future is gonna look like. You have to take care of yourself.
My advice to you is that you shouldn't waste your time and energy on stressing, because the time and energy you waste on stressing, you could be using it to solve the problem that you're in.
And the advice I would give to people who are in the same situation as I am, they're just going through a lot of stress despite not having a lot of trust. At the end of the day, it's gonna be about you. What do you want to do? What do you want your life to be? Are you just gonna sit here and repeat the cycle of poverty? Or are you gonna do something about it and turn that around and try to be an influence and inspiration to people and tell your story, go out there and become someone?
So my question for you is, what are you going to use your time for? Stress or success?